A woman is told by a complete stranger the exact day she will die, and that countdown begins right now. This story kicks off with Sarah Nolan, a totally normal woman living a pretty ordinary life. That is, until one night when she's walking down a quiet street and a stranger stops her dead in her tracks. He looks her right in the eye and says, "You will die in 5 days." Then, just like that, he walks away into the darkness, leaving Sarah alone as her final countdown begins. It all goes down after Sarah wraps up a late shift at work. She's walking home, casually scrolling through her phone, when a man in a dark coat steps directly into her path. His face is disturbingly pale, and his eyes look hollow and empty. But when he speaks, his voice is unnervingly calm. "You have 5 days left," he says. Sarah lets out a nervous laugh, asking if this is some kind of sick joke. The man just shakes his head and adds, "I've seen your death. I see all of them." Before she can even process what he's said or ask another question, he turns a corner and completely disappears. It's like he vanished into thin air. Sarah, shaken, immediately calls the police, but they find nothing. There's no sign of the man on any CCTV footage. No witnesses saw him. Nothing. It's as if he was never even there. The next day, Sarah tries to brush it off, telling herself it was just a creepy encounter. But then strange things start happening. Her phone screen lights up with a notification that reads, "5 days left," but no app sent it. Her smartwatch vibrates with a countdown timer she never set. Later, when she looks in her bedroom mirror, the glass fogs over and the word "soon" appears, scrawled in the condensation. She tries to rationalize it, thinking maybe someone hacked her devices, but the bizarre occurrences keep escalating. She notices her analog wall clock, a simple battery-powered clock, has started ticking backward. Terrified but exhausted, she convinces herself it's all just stress and tries to get some sleep. On day 2, Sarah meets up with her best friend, Mia, and spills everything that's been happening. Mia is skeptical, suggesting it's probably just paranoia from the weird encounter. But as they're talking in a cafe, a news alert flashes across the TV screen. Local woman dies after being warned by a stranger. Sarah freezes, her blood running cold. The reporter on the screen is interviewing a witness who recounts a chillingly familiar story. A stranger had approached the victim and predicted the exact day she would die. In that moment, Sarah realizes with dawning horror that she's not the first one this has happened to. As her own internal panic starts to rise, she glances at her watch. The countdown is still ticking away. 3 days, 19 hours, and 12 minutes left. The following day, with her fear now undeniable, Sarah goes back to the police station. This time she speaks with a detective named Alan Reeves, who, unlike the first officers, actually takes her seriously. He pulls out a case file and shows her something that makes her stomach drop. There are 3 other cases, all of them people who reported receiving a death prediction before they died. In every case, the cause of death was unclear, and there was no suspect. But one detail was consistent across all reports. Each victim described being approached by the same pale man. The detective warns Sarah to go somewhere safe, to be with people she trusts. But that night, as she lies in bed, she hears whispering coming from underneath it. She cautiously bends down to look, her heart pounding. There's no one there. There's only a shadow, but it's not a normal shadow. It stretches out from under the bed, twisting and reaching for her like a grotesque hand. Suddenly, the lights in her room flicker violently, and when they come back on, she checks her phone. The countdown has inexplicably jumped forward. It now reads 1 day, 6 hours, 00 minutes. It's speeding up. On day 4, with time running out, Sarah goes to her estranged brother, Daniel. They haven't spoken in years, but she's desperate. She tells him everything: the stranger, the countdown, the shadow. At first, he thinks she's having a breakdown, maybe hallucinating from stress. But then, he sees it for himself. He watches the countdown timer on her phone, ticking down, moving all on its own. That's all the proof he needs. He decides to stay with her, refusing to leave her side. Together they scour the internet, searching for anything about death predictions. They find stories, forum posts, and old articles dating back decades, all describing the same pale man. Then they stumble upon a blog written by a survivor, one of the very few people who supposedly escaped the countdown. Sarah immediately calls him. The man on the other end of the line has a voice filled with terror. He tells her he doesn't predict death, he causes it. According to the survivor, the moment the stranger tells you your day, the countdown becomes real. And when it hits 0, something comes for you. It's not a person, not an animal. It's something else, something ancient and unstoppable. It's the final day. Sarah's countdown has reached its last 24 hours. Her phone rings. It's Detective Reeves, and his voice is urgent. He tells her they finally identified the stranger. His name is August Creed. And here's the impossible part. August Creed died in 1974. Sarah freezes. A ghost, a dead man, had predicted her death. But Reeves isn't finished. He says they found a pattern connecting all the victims. Every single person who died was supposed to have died earlier in their life, but had somehow miraculously avoided it. It's like something is balancing the scales. At that moment, a buried memory surfaces in Sarah's mind, and she finally understands. Years ago, she was in a fatal car accident, a crash that killed 3 other people. She was the sole survivor, pulled from the wreckage alive. Maybe she was never meant to live past that day. Sarah sits in her room, Daniel right beside her, his presence a small comfort in the suffocating silence. She stares at her phone, watching the last minutes of her life tick away. 1 minute and 29 seconds. 1 minute and 45 seconds. Suddenly the lights in the house shut off, plunging them into absolute darkness. The room turns bone-chillingly cold. From the corner of the room, a shadow begins to rise. It's tall, impossibly thin, and moves without a sound. Sarah's voice is barely a whisper, filled with a final, desperate plea. Please. I'm not ready. The shadow stops. Then the pale figure of the stranger, August Creed, materializes beside it. He looks at her, not with menace, but with a strange, sad calm, and says softly, "No one ever is." The countdown on her phone flashes to 0. The screen goes black. The next morning, Detective Reeves arrives to find the house completely empty. There's no body, no signs of a struggle. Just Sarah's phone lying on the floor, displaying a new message. Next,